Good morning everyone, welcome back. My name's Duncan. Today we're going to continue with the University of Helsinki's massive open online course. We're looking at part 3 and the using strings section, and we're going to be starting with the AV club. We need to write a program that reads user input until an empty line, and then for each non-empty string the program splits the string by spaces and then prints the pieces that contain AV, each one on a new line. Okay, so we're going to search the array for AV words and then print them out if they contain the A and V. So down here you can see we've got lots of little hints and tips. We've got the .contains method, and we can pass a string. So our string would be the letter A and V. Then we can do the opposite. So if we were looking for tin, so we use did not contain or doesn't contain, then it would print out the words that does not contain tin. So let's give this one a go. I'm going to move that sort of right. There we go. Open the AV club class. So just remember to update your Git repo as well for the last one that we've just completed. So you would need to do git add and full stop to add all the new files and lines. Git commit, and then just say that you completed that lesson, and then you would do a git push u, origin and master. Okay, so hopefully that sort of jogs your memory a bit. Right, so we're going to use a while loop, and then we can say while true, we'll carry on running this code. So it's going to be very, very similar actually to the previous exercise, isn't it? So on our keyboard, if we press Ctrl Shift and T, it will open the last closed class. So if we make this bigger, we can drag it over here a bit. You've seen me drag things around the screen before. So we don't necessarily just have to copy and paste it, but we can practice sort of typing it and getting used to typing these things. So we've got user input.scanner, next line. So we'll take the whole line of input. We need to use the break on an empty string. There we go. And we can put our break in there. Don't need a prompt. We do need an array to split, and we will need a for loop as well. So let's put our array in. There we go, and then we can use our for loop as well. There we go, and then we can do our if statement. So if word dot contains, and we're going to say AV, and we'll system out the word. Okay. So let's just close this down. Let's give it a run. Oh no, we've got a fail. Let's have a look. So it says check the program with the following output: lava and haiku. Okay, let's see what we get. Oh, I printed the string literal word and not the variable word. There we go. Let's give that a run locally and see what happens this time. Ah, there we go. Passed. So let's submit that. Excellent. Close that down. There we go. So let's submit that. Right click and close this. There we are. Get rid of that. Ooh. There we go. I'll just reset my windows just so hopefully it stops the console being everywhere. Right, let's give this one a little refresh. There we go. Data of fixed format. Okay. Splitting strings is used particularly when the data is of a fixed format. This refers to data that adheres to some predefined format. An example of this could be comma-separated values, so CSVs, where commas are used to separate values. Below you'll find an example of data in CSV form containing names and ages. The first column contains names and the second one ages. The columns are separated by a comma. You quite often see CSV files in Excel. Let's just quickly see if we can find some examples. Oh, there you go, the first one that come up is a Excel file, but they can be .text files, so you can see here, and they don't really look very nice to read, especially clear. Is that going to load properly? Oh, there we go. So you can see that we've got each, if you imagine, column separated by a comma. we can use the split function. So instead of a space, we can use split comma, and it will separate each of these into a different column. As long as we set up an array correctly for that, it will separate them all up into an array. So let's have a look and see what we've got to do here. So let's assume the user enters data above row by row, ending with an empty line. A program to print the names and ages looks like the following. So we've got our while loop. So while true, string input equals reader.next line, which is, they've called the scanner reader this time. If input is equal to null, so nothing, break, so that will leave the loop. String piece is equal to split.comma, there we go, so we said about that, didn't we? And then we've got system.out.print line, name plus piece is 0, so that's going to be the first column in our comma separated values, and in age plus piece is 1, so that would be our second one, and you can see how it prints out here. Write a program that reads user input until an empty line is entered. For each non-empty line, the program splits the string by spaces and prints the first part of the string. Alright, so we can use the next line function for that actually, that would probably work quite well. Let's find NetBeans, there we go, let's move that over here and get our first words open. Excellent, there we are. Oh, still got something running down here. Close that, there we go. Just going to run this class quickly just to see if that had fixed. There we go. Excellent. Right, so let's think. So we've got the example that they used up here, and they said while true. So we can do it this way. There is another way we can do it as well. So we'll do this way first, and then I'll show you the other way, which uses a different method for the scanner. So let's try it with .next. We may have to go back and use next line. Actually, we will need to use next line, won't it? Because it will take each line, commas and all, and then it will split them using the comma split. There we go. Remember, if your code's a bit all over the place and your commas are a bit all dodgy, if you select it all and then hold Alt Shift and press F on your keyboard, it will sort out all the lines for you. Won't sort out spelling mistakes though, however. Okay, so we've got our while loop. We can put some notes on here, so if this is getting a bit, semicolon-y, so we can say end of while loop if you wanted to. Remember, you can put as many notes on as you want. This is the end of our main. That's the end of the class. There we go. Okay, so we can say string, I'm going to call mine column, and say that that is equal to input dot split. And then in our split, instead of a space, we're going to put the comma. Cannot find symbol. Ah, that's because I've got the scanner created, the string inside the while loop. So now let's see what it doesn't like. Incompatible types. String cannot be converted. So string array, can you see it's got the square brackets there, cannot be converted to string. And that's just because I forgot to put the square brackets on. There we are. And then we can system out. And the system out will be our columns, and we want column 0, like that. So let's give that a little run and see what we get back. Okay, so we've got an error, that is not a problem. Let's copy that. The words don't really make any difference actually, I don't know why I copied that. But let's just paste that in. Okay, so we've got the entire line rather than Oh, that was actually separated by a space, wasn't it, and not a comma. Let's just try that again. Run that locally and see what we get back. Oh, there we go, we passed. Excellent. So let's press yes here. Brilliant. Let's give those an OK, and then let's head back to the website and we'll move on to the next challenge, which is last words. Okay. So write a program that reads user input until an empty line is entered. For each non-empty line, the program splits the string by spaces and prints the last part of the string. So 1, 2, 3, 4 prints 4. This is a very important message. Prints message. Grand. Okay, so let's head back to, I'm going to move that over here. So again, this one's going to be very, very similar to the previous one. So let's open our previous code and let's open the new class as well. Pull the old one over here, so we've got that to compare to. Oh, remember to do your git add, your git commit, and your git push u origin master. Right, so let's do while true. Oh, I was going to show you a different way of doing this, wasn't I? Okay, so let's see. So what we can do is, so just thinking about it, I can't show you this way because we need an additional file, but what I can do is show you where this is on my GitHub, if you wanted to have a mess around with it. So if we go to github.com/dskilton, wrong one, there we go, repositories, I'll put this link in the comments as well so you don't have to go searching for it. And what was it called? It's an old one, I know that for sure. Here we are, contract manager. So if you clone this, I'll show you how to clone as well. You can see here, oh, what's that? Anyway, here we've got contracts.txt, sorry, archive.txt and contract.txt. So if we go to sources, okay, and if we go to monthly rates, let's have a look. So here we've got something very new. It's called a buffered reader. It's like a scanner, but it's more appropriate for using for longer and larger files. So you can see here we've created a buffered reader called BR, and we've passed a new file reader, and then inside that file reader we've passed a file called archive.txt. So this one is a tab separated value. So if I quickly pinch that, if we go back here, where is it? This one. So you can see these are all separated by a single tab space. So that's a TSV, or tab separated values. We've got an integer I, which this is only used to print out the total, so you can see I++. So if you do have a mess around with this, there should be 1,000 lines. And then we've got our string array, so again what we've seen before, and we're splitting it using \\s and plus, which is the keys for a tab space. We've got array equals the 0th column, which would be the first, wouldn't it? And we've got this one, which equals the third, and then it just loops through and does different things. So feel free to take a copy of this and have a mess around with it. I'm fairly sure that the actual project file is here as well. It's just so this might actually be the actual oh yeah, this is it. So if you want to have a go at this is going to be a bit of a challenge, but a good challenge, and it combines a lot of stuff that we've done before, and some stuff that we haven't. This is formatted strings. If you do have a go at it, read through it and just start creating it in one bit at a time, and as you complete one bit, maybe change it yellow so you know that you've done that bit, and you can see that the bits that aren't yellow are things that you need to do. If you get stuck on it, you obviously can ask me for help, of course, but you've also got the code online to refer to as well. So you can have a go at it on your own, It'd be a great another project to have uploaded to your GitHub, and a really good one to showcase to your employers as well. So let's close that. So that had the while.hasNextLine method on it, so that was one to see there. To clone the project, let me think, let's pop to desktop. Just gonna copy the file location. Oh, there we go. So all we need to do is change directory to where you want your, press Control V, where you want your project to be. So mine's going to be desktop, and then we do git clone, and then we clone the project's location. So we need to go back to there, I believe. That's it. So ours is going to be, so you can copy this, like so, insert it, and if we press enter, you can see that that file has just appeared on my desktop. My internet's really bad today, so it might be that it doesn't download very quickly or at all. Able to access, let's try that again. Oh, I've got two HTTPS's, so that might be why it doesn't like it. Let's try that. There we go. So that's now downloaded, and that has everything in it as well. So it's got archive.txt file, it's got contracts.txt, which you'll write to, and then you've got the actual project description as well here. So you can use this and have a mess around with it. You can have a go at doing it yourself following this project here. But that's available online if you wanted to have a little look at it. So I'm going to delete those. Oh, I've got it open still. I'll do that later. There we go, cool. Right, so off on a tangent again, but let's get back to University of Helsinki. Okay, so let's get back to our projects here. Did we do that one? No, we didn't. Right, so we're doing last words now. Okay, so let's head back to NetBeans. There we go. So let's just, so we've got our while loop, and again, like I say, this is going to be incredibly similar. There's only really going to be one difference. So we can copy this. So string input equals scanner.next. Oh, line like that. If input.equals that, we're going to break out of our loop. There we go, and still inside our loop, we're going to create our array, string array. We'll call it column again, or col, equals input.split space. And what we're going to system out is col, and then the position we're going to print out, instead of just being 0, is going to be col.length, which is the array length, -1, because we want the last array point. So let's give that one a little run and see, what we get back. Brill, there we go, another one done. Let's get that closed down. There we are. Let's get back to our course. Flew through those ones. In the exercise above, we actually implemented a very simple decrypting method for secret messages. One variant of these hidden messages consists of the first characters of each line. For example, the secret message program is hidden in the somewhat cryptic text below. So here we've got the P, R, O, G, A, R, A, M. There we go. Let's continue with the same theme. You can get a character at a specified index of the string with the char@at method, and then we pass a variable to show what position we want the char at. So position 0 for this string is H, 1 would be the E, and so on. We printed strings in the examples above. Some of the data contained in a fixed format string can be numerical. In the previous data that we used, which contained names and ages, the ages were integers. Splitting a string always produces an array of strings. If the text is of a fixed format, we can assume the data in a specific index to always be of a specific type. So in this example here, position, so this is position 0, isn't it? This is position 1, is always going to be an int. So position 0, position 1, position 0, position 1. The program below computes the sum of ages in this fixed format data. In order to compute the sum, the age must first be converted to a number. So we've got the familiar command of integer.valueOf. So this is called parsing. So we're passing to int. So here we've got our scanner, we've got an integer, we've got a while loop. So this is our normal break that we've been using in the previous examples. Here we've got our array, and then we're saying that sum is equal to sum plus column 1, which is the ages, and that column 1 is going to be an integer. And then we're printing out the sum. So here we are, the sum of the ages is 5 because we've got 2, 2 and 1. We can write a program to compute the average of ages in the same way. So again, this first section is very, very similar. In fact, all of this is pretty similar. They've added one variable in, haven't they, for the count. And then here they've used the 1.0 times the integers to get the decimal format. So that's it for today. We will move on to the next challenge in the next video, which I should be uploading within the next 7 days or so. Hopefully that's been useful for you and connected perhaps a few more dots around programming in Java. Remember, the more you do, the more you expose yourself to Java, the easier you're going to find it, the more you practice as well. Don't forget to update your GitHub if you're doing the commits. I'll put a link to the video here if you want to see what that's about. But until next time, good luck and happy coding.